Hello, we're back for another CSS battle today. Right, so this is today's daily target. Interesting one. My first thought was we could maybe use WebKit's box reflection on this, or we could just have two elements and then a shadow on the other side. Let's try it with. No, let's do this with linear gradients. I think we could achieve this. Could we achieve it with a linear gradient? Potentially. No, I'm going to do this. Let's do this the easy way first, and then we'll try and maybe hone it later on. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is going to have two p tags. I'm going to need a way to differentiate between them. So if you don't know, you can put just a random attribute in CSSBattle. This is you can put a random attribute on to allow us to target. So I'll do A and B. So we're going to target all p tags. Let's just give us body its correct background so we can forget about it. That one. Background is that. Just realised I've not got my glasses on, so I can't see as well. There you go. Cool. So you've got two p tags. Right. Let's see width. Are we about right on the width? Let's put this in the right place. Let's get our margins going on here. The margin of this, the top is going to be. Let's do 40 pixels to start with. So right on X, it's not the right width. Y. So top there, let's just do top come down 4.5 pixels. Be about right. Yep, and then we don't need the PXs. If you're new to this, that's just a CSSBattle only thing. And I think the width is going to be more like 80. Yeah, 80. Okay. Oh, I've completely missed that we're over there on that side. So let's come in 30. No, that's the wrong one. 40. This is coming down to 35. Puts that in the right place, and then the width was 100, I think. Nope, I'm wrong again. Let's just get a diff up. Let's change this background to what it is. If we put the diff up, then we can see that little overhang there. So this is obviously a width of 90. 90, perfect. And the height, let's go to 90 as well. And we should lose that thing at the bottom of the T. Yep. Now, how are we going to achieve the T? There's probably easier ways. Oh no. I was going to do a clip path, but then that ruins what I want to do on the other side. How are we going to achieve that then? I think I'm trying to avoid too many elements. Do we have a P with a P inside for each one of these things? I think we do. I think we have a top level P, then we have a P inside, and then we have a closing P. Not sure how that'll behave actually. Have two P's like that. I think that one's closing beforehand, so we'd want this one to close to give us our bottom one. Right, and then we want our immediate child of the body, P, should allow us to do it like this. So only the first one, let's just get out of the diff view, should be that, but that's not worked. Anyway, let's have the height of these is going to be, let's do it to 40. Okay, that height is about right. So the second one, is the immediate child like that, or is it a, hang on. Yeah, it can be smaller. So if they do body immediate P, we shouldn't be hitting this P here in the middle. But if we just do A and we do B, that means we don't need to worry about any of this, and we actually save some characters. There you go. A is that size. Okay, and then we want B. We do want B to inherit some of that, but we want B to be, so if we do B down here, we want that to rotate 180 degrees. That has not rotated. What am I doing wrong today? What am I doing wrong? Maybe if we just put B outside of that. Sometimes things just don't go to plan. Rotate, oh, it's because I'm rotating 180. Rotate 90 will actually work. Okay, and now all we need to do is move that up, so we can just do that with a transition of 0 on the X, and we go like minus 40 on the Y. Not transition, what am I on about? Translate. This 40 is too much. Is it too much? Yeah, it is. Minus 30. There we go. Ooh. Nearly had me. Minus 32 maybe. Let's diff it. Minus 31. Yeah, there we go, spot on. That is because of the margins in between the p tags being relative to the font size, which I think is default 16, so the margin would have been 8 thereabouts. So we have to move up a little bit to account for that. I think that's right. My numbers might be wrong there. But anyway, so that's that. So then, underneath that, we can have another one of these. Do we have another one of those? Oh, I don't like the amount of elements we've got here. It feels like this is overkill. Is there a better way? There probably is a better way. But I think I'm just going to do it this way for now. Div. We want that div to be outside of these p tags. What we're doing is we're just going to add a secondary class name to these. So we're going to do, not class name, attribute. So we'll do add a C on here, and we're going to say in C, target the C attribute, we're going to just rotate the entire thing. And we're not going to make the same mistake before by 90 degrees. Nope, we do need 180 degrees this time because we are flipping. Dag. There we go. Okay, and then we want, that's the div that's done that. So we want actually to target everything inside that. Apparently not. Oh, because we're already rotating the B. Body. I'm not doing very well here at all. There's got to be a better way of doing this. What am I missing? What am I missing? What about if we have a P with an after? Let's just do. I think I've got a better idea. We're going to start again. This feels a bit wasteful, but we're going to start entirely again. So we're going to do a P, just one P, and then we're going to have a P with an A selector on it. Okay, and then we're going to have a style. Okay, and our body is going to have a background of this color. Okay, and then all our P's, just do target all P's, are going to have a background of this initially. We need to actually put the background in. Background. Okay. Then we want them to have a width. I forgot the bloody numbers now. A width of 90 maybe. if I remember rightly, and maybe it was 40px, I can't remember, height. Okay, maybe looks right. We'll just have put our margins in. Margin, no, margin's going to be on the body. Margin of, I think, 40px and 35px, not PDX. Yeah. So if we put our diff on that, that should disappear at the top. It does, nice. Okay, and then I don't need these units. Doesn't matter. We can minimize that later on. Then for RP, we're going to have we're going to use an after pseudo. We want position stuff, so we're going to put well, maybe we don't need to actually. If we do, content, nothing. This is the display of block. Usually I wouldn't like the after element, but it feels like this is, because it's too many extra characters, but it feels like this is maybe worth doing. We're going to borrow these, but we're going to flip them. So that's going to be a 40, that's going to be a 90. I'm going to try a background. I haven't actually tried this before on a, weirdly, well, I don't know that I remember anyway. Inherit. Does it inherit the background? It does, excellent. Right, let's get rid of this for now, just so we can see what we're actually working with, and then we can put a translate of, let's go left 20px, let's go left 30, 40, nope, that wasn't 40, that was 285, get our diff up. Oh, that is spot on. Okay, excellent. And then we have a P with a B attribute. That's a V. Doesn't matter why, whether it's A or B or C or whatever. And here we're going to target not inside the P. It's outside of here. We're going to target a B, and its background color is going to be that. I wish it would. I understand why it doesn't put the background in for you when you copy, but it would be nice. And this is going to rotate 180 degrees. I've learnt my simple maths now. That's looking quite nice. And then we just need to move it down. So B is going to have a margin of, let's do 140px and 0. Oh my god, that was absolutely, I think I've done this too much. That was absolutely bang on. So the only thing I want to do now, just to finish this off, is I want to have a colour on here of this. And a colour on here. I've got an idea to maybe trim this down a bit of this. And then the only thing we should have to do now is put a box shadow, a friendly box shadow. We use these quite a lot in this actually, I've realised recently. I kind of want to do a couple of videos where I move away from them, but let's do 150px 0 and that. That's done everything but the after, that's fine. Let's do 200. Not quite, let's get a diff up. Where are you? 260. 240? 240 is perfect. Okay, so then this is also going to have a box shadow of 242. Okay, and then the problem we've got here is now this one, because we've rotated it, it's going to need to have the other box shadow on the other side, but we can actually get away with it by not rotating. If we don't rotate, so how are we looking for diff? We haven't rotated that, so it's not flipped it, but we can move. Yeah, okay, so what we can do is we can move this up. Let's go the margin to 80, not 800, that's not enough, 90. That is enough. And then the after, What's really frustrating about this is the winner of this, the person with the lowest one, will have like 200 characters. No, not even that, they'll have 100 characters. Our after is now going to have a translate of let's just do 100 px. It's not the after. No, this was right at 140. It's this that needs to come up minus 100. We're getting there. We're getting there. I can feel it. That's on the X, so we just want it to be on the Y. There we go. So the X is going to be 25. And minus 100 is way too much. Let's do 80. That's too much too. Let's do 50. That is pretty spot on. So what we've been able to do is by putting the after in, that's given us the bottom of the T, and then the B, we're just refactoring some stuff. Now I have a theory that we might be able to save a couple of characters, but let's do our minify. That's big. 323 is quite big. Minified it. That's 321. Let's do a unit replacement. 319. Submit it. That's where we find out we're at 99% or something stupid. 100%, 619. Right. Okay. So can we? So let's see. The color here is that. Color here is that. We're not going to save anything actually. Let me just see if I do. Let's just replace this one quickly. I'm just going to test this. Actually, so 319 is our current number. So let's do -- C for color equals. Let's do a comma. Where's our color? Here. Okay. 319 was our target. Not equals. Not gonna work. Colon. Then this is going to be C. Okay, that's working. And then you should be able to do now. Instead of color there, I don't think this is saving anything. 330. 319 was our best. Have we got any others we could do? No, we haven't saved anything. In fact, we've gained. So we're actually going to undo all of that. Get rid of our definition of the color at the top. And we're going to resubmit that at 319. I think that's our best bet. I think there's probably I know there's much more concise ways of doing that. I will have a think, and if I can think of a better solution for that before we get to tomorrow, when this top solution unlocks, and I can then see how people have done it with a body tag and some, I don't know, radial gradients or something. But anyway, that's that. I'm still happy with 100%. I'm not so happy about the amount of characters here. I think actually we can actually save some characters thinking about it. We don't need the pixels. We don't need that. We don't need that. Have we got any margins that we can take off? Margin 140. No, that's not there. Translate. We do need it on. Actually gets 311. This margin. Go even further. Oh, I've just broken everything. Yeah, we need that space. Yeah, 307. How are we doing? Come on, 621. That's a bit better. We're still above 300. I like to get under 200. like to get under 300, sorry. Anyway, that was today's. We'll come and do one tomorrow. Trying to do one of these every day. It's a bit late in the day today, but hopefully it shouldn't be so late tomorrow. And if I can, I might come back to this tomorrow. I might come back to it later on today, but I doubt it. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.